Hello and welcome to an introduction to animation. In this presentation, we'll start with defining animation. We'll talk a little bit about history of animation. Then we'll go to types of animation, and finally we'll finish up with the applications of animation. So first, let's begin with the definition. What is animation? Animation is defined as the illusion of movement created by showing a series of images in a brief period of time. Let's break this definition into three parts. First is, animation is an illusion of movement, which means that it is not a real movement, it is an illusion of movement. And this illusion of movement is created with the help of series of images, which means that we need more number of pictures. We cannot create an illusion of movement just with a single picture. And these multiple pictures has to be shown in a brief period of time. So if I'm showing one picture today and the next picture tomorrow, it is not going to create the illusion. To be more precise, we need to have 24 frames for every single second of animation. So 24 drawings for 1 second of animation. So combined together, animation is the illusion of movement created with the help of a series of images in a brief period of time. Great. Now let's talk about the history of animation. Whenever we talk about the history of animation, the first person who comes in our mind is Walt Disney. But there was animation before Walt Disney also. Animation as an art form existed even in the Stone Age. If you look at these pictures, these are basically cave paintings from the Stone Age. The artist who painted these cave walls was actually visualizing the movements of these animals. Later, during the ancient Egyptians and the ancient Indians, they were able to show animation as multiple drawings, either as drawings or as carvings in the walls. In 1906, James Stewart Blackton, who was the first person to film animation. His technique was to create drawings on blackboard with the help of a chalk piece, and then he was photographing those to make a final animation. His first film is known as Humorous Faces of Funny Faces, which was published in 1906. Following him, the second animator who created beautiful animations with the help of pen and paper, his name is Winsor McCay. He is later called as the father of animation. He created very beautiful animations called The Gertie the Dinosaur, How the Mosquito Operates, and The Sinking of Lusitania. These are some of his famous works. And then came Walt Disney. Walt Disney revolutionized the animation industry. He worked out with various different techniques to fine-tune animation production. Walt Disney worked on so many cartoons, but the one that gave him success is Mickey Mouse. In 1928, Mickey Mouse's first film, Steamboat Willie, came out, and this was the first cartoon film with sound. Mickey Mouse and Steamboat Willie became a big hit, and following that he also created the first full-length animated film with the help of his multi-plane camera in the year 1937. The first feature-length film is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Following the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Walt Disney went on to make many hit films like Bambi, Jungle Book, Aladdin, Cinderella, and so on. In the year 1995, PIXAR Studios took up animation to the next level, that is with 3D computer graphics. So Toy Story came out in 1995 as the first full-length 3D animated film. And following that, Pixar produced so many successful films. So that's a little history of animation. Now let's talk about the types of animation. If you search the internet for types of animation, you'll find thousands of different types of animation. But I'm just trying to put all of them into three major categories. First one is traditional animation, second one is computerized animation, and the third is stop motion animation. So traditional animation basically uses paper and pencil. This is also known as cell animation because it uses transparent celluloid sheets to show multiple layers of drawing. Computerized animation requires a computer software, and it could be either two-dimensional or three-dimensional animation. Generally, we take the following process. First, we have to create a model, which would look something like this. And then we have to give color to it. It is called texturing. And this is another picture showing how texturing works, because we have a 3D character here, and the textures are basically two-dimensional drawings which then maps onto this character. And then we have to create animation, that is the movement, and then lighting. So we have to create lights based on what the environment is and what are the light sources. And then the final process is called rendering. This is the process of making the final video from the 3D files. So that's computerized animation. Now the third type is called stop motion animation. Stop motion animation requires real cameras and real toys which can be moved. These are called puppets. So basically a puppet is made up of a skeleton inside. So this is a skeleton, and outside the skeleton we have to either have clay or plastic or some kind of material that forms the body. And then we have to create backgrounds and an entire set as in the miniature size, and we have to create real lighting. And then for animation, every single frame is being recorded by a camera with various poses. So if I have to move the hand up, I have to keep the hand down, take a picture, and then move it slightly up, take another picture, move it slightly further and take another picture, and so on and so forth. And this process has to be repeated hundreds and thousands of times in order to get a full animation movie. So these are the three different types of animation. Now let's talk about the applications. Animation can be applied almost in all the industries right now. Okay, so let's talk about them. Film industry, animation is used as visual effects elements. Education, as cartoons. Advertisements these days, almost all the advertisements that you see will have some kind of animation elements. Architecture, for visualization purposes. Product design, so before making a real product, we can just model them into computer graphics and animate them to see how the product would look even before prototyping. Medical purposes, for demonstrations. And finally, gaming. Gaming is a huge industry which relies on computer graphics for making the models and making the backgrounds and stuff like that. So this concludes this presentation. So I hope this presentation was useful. If you have any questions, you can email it to me at anyonecananimate@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at anyonecananimate without the E, because Twitter doesn't allow me to give that full name. And you can also subscribe to my channel in YouTube so that you will get more updates on the new videos that I'm going to post. So hit the like button if you liked the video, hit the dislike button if you don't like the video, and if you have any questions or comments, you can also type them in the comment section below. Thank you.